Hey everybody, Mike with Canine P4 here, and today I have something really exciting for you. The Mini Tube Androscope by Mini Tube. The newest player in the mobile semen analysis game. You're not going to want to miss this. As you probably know, semen analysis is a very important part of the breeding process. Now, timing of progesterone is very important. It's a huge part of the process. However, if you're using poor sperm or sperm with very little motility, the odds that that sample will produce a pregnancy are next to zero. So what a lot of breeders have been doing is their own sperm analysis. And you can do that a number of ways. You can do that with a microscope like the one pictured here. You can do it with a single-use test, such as the pet count. And now Mini Tube, a very well-respected company in the realm of animal reproduction, released their own version called the Mini Tube Androscope. Let's take a closer look at what comes in the box from Mini Tube. The Androscope is going to come in this nice hard shell plastic travel case. Again, you can really see the focus on portability with this case alone. It's very sturdy and will serve you well if you decide to take it on the road. Now, once we open it up, we're going to see a few different things in here. The first thing that's going to catch your eye is going to be the Androscope itself. And as you can see, this is a very solid construction. It is metal, it's somewhat heavy, but it's also rather small. The type of construction you would want in a mobile semen analysis machine. We're also going to have the cord that connects the Androscope to your Windows device via USB. A small packet of 2 microliter centrifuge cups, 100 disposable capillary tubes, a pack of semen mixing paddles, as well as the counting slides that you're going to use with the Androscope. And when you buy from Canine P4, we are going to throw in a handful of other products to make the process easier and to make it a full kit so that you can collect the semen all the way through analyzing the semen with one product. First extra piece we include is a canine sperm collection kit. Now this we sell on its own. We put it into all of our major products that are designed for semen collection. It's going to include everything you need to collect a semen sample. Secondly, we include a 0.5 to 10 UL pipette and additional tips for the pipette. Now this pipette is going to be used when you are applying the semen sample to the counting chamber. You can use this disposable capillary tube here. However, we prefer the pipette because you can set the exact volume, which is 3 microliters, to ensure you don't get any extra semen on the counting slide, which can cause some problems with cleaning and with accuracy of your device. The next thing included from Canine P4 is the sperm tube warmer. Now we sell this on its own as well. It's a great product to bring sperm up to the correct temperature without heat shocking the sperm. And we have a cool new addition for this particular version of this product. Because Mini Tube is going to recommend that you heat up not only the sperm sample, but also the counting chamber. So that way when the sperm comes in contact with the counting chamber, the temperature is going to be exactly the same and you minimize any possibility of sperm die-off from the different temperatures. So as you can see here, I have a counting chamber. You can slide it right into the slit on top of this insert. Now you would do this before you put any sample on here, just to warm it up, and you can place it back in here. Another little tidbit we like to throw in is a digital thermometer. Now this is a fantastic piece to verify the temperature of your sperm sample. And this allows you to see if your sperm sample is at the ideal temperature of about 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Which again is very important if you're really trying to see the true motility of a sample. And last but not least, we do have an option available that will include a Microsoft tablet that works very well with the Mini Tube Androscope. So if you get that variant, it's going to include the tablet, a case for the tablet, plus a USB mouse that connects directly to the tablet and makes it a lot easier to maneuver around on the software. And now we are going to take a closer look into how to prepare your sample and analyze your sample using the Androscope. I'm gonna pass it over to Sam here. Take it away, Sam.
So I have a 1 to 3 diluted semen sample that I just received and shipped cold. We pre-warmed it for 15 minutes at about 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we will need to have this pre-warming step to make sure that they're up to their optimal temperature and actually demonstrating their motility and activity as they normally would within the animal. If you run a semen sample and it's cold, you're gonna get a lot of an incredible loss in motility. Be careful when you're warming them up as well, as you can temperature shock them and actually kill them off rather than putting them into a stasis from temperature changes. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. Here today we're using our sperm tube warmer. This accommodates 15 milliliter sperm tube samples, as well as a 2 milliliter with a custom fit adapter. You can also fit straws into here if they're capped, of course, and a 50 milliliter tube. So we have our samples in here warming up for 15 minutes now. And what I'm going to do next is take a sample and ensure every time you take a sperm sample that you do a gentle mix by inversion. Recommend doing this at least 10 times. We want to make sure we have a uniform sample so that when we're doing an analysis, it actually shows us the concentration that exists in the whole sample. If you leave it upright for an extended period of time, it does create a sperm concentration gradient. They tend to float down. On the top, you'll have more watery, lower concentration samples, and on the bottom, you'll have thicker. So just be sure to mix within a minute of doing your analysis for the best results, and that it is pre-warmed. Some people do like the armpit trick or other bodily methods of warming the samples up. They're definitely an economical way to do it. A bit less controlled though, and it is a little uncomfortable and takes more time. They do recommend sperm warmers such as the one seen here to accommodate this task. So next, here is our device. Here is the Mini Tube Androscope, and this has no built-in screen. This will attach with any Windows computer capable of running the free download software. And it's powered by this USB cable here that again goes into any USB port on a Windows recommend 10 or greater PC or tablet. So here we have the viewing area. You can see that there's 4 lines there. On each mini tube counting slide, there's actually 4 positions, so you can do up to 4 samples. Now they're labeled on the slide. I'll show you a little bit closer: A, B, C, and D. So for position A, or sample A, we'll slide this in up until the white notch here. Now for B, we'll move it forward to the next notch and get pretty close to the line. You don't need to be exactly on, but you also want to be close enough for it to dial in. You can see on the screen, we're just looking at glass. I do not have a sample in position B, only in position A. Go a little bit further to reach C. And of course, if we had a sample, even further in to reach D. So let me demonstrate how to actually place your semen sample on the slide to get the analysis. Be careful when handling any glass slides such as this one. And when you are inserting it, make sure the Mini Tube logo, you can read that and it's facing up. Otherwise, it is upside down in the incorrect orientation. So this is what you should be seeing. Mini Tube logo, legible and readable, facing up as you insert into the back end here. Now, there is a rolling guide in here. So as you're inserting it, use caution. Don't bend, pull, or force it in. But you will feel a little resistance as you hit the roller on the side here. So just gently move it forward and pull it back out. So it is also a good recommendation to pre-warm the slide as well. Again, anytime you're doing any analysis with sperm, you want to have the temperatures the same. So it would be good to warm the slide and warm the sperm. If you don't have a slide warmer, however, you can still do this. Shouldn't have a significant impact on the result. So anyway, now that I've inverted 10 times, I'm going to take a 3 microliter sample included in your kit from Mini Tube. The pipette is included from us when purchasing a Canine P4, as well as your tips. Now this is a controlled method that helps reduce spills. It gets the volume the same and correct each and every time. We highly recommend doing it this way. So again, after I've inverted, I'm now going to place the slide on a clean surface. So on each of these counting slides, you have actually 4 separate distinct compartments. The first one here, section A, B, C, and D. So the little white lines on the edge, this is where you will apply the sample. So for position A, you apply it gently right there. For B, here. For C, there, and D, there. The sample will spread out evenly across the back end here in between the white lines. And when you're doing this, be careful, because if you do get any sperm on the outside of the glass or on top, you want to wipe that down before putting it into the androscope. You can leave sperm residuals on the lens, which can cause your readings to be inaccurate and be very difficult to resolve. So be absolutely sure that the glass on top is dry and the semen is applied directly into each channel. So let me show you how to do this with section B, because I have a sample in section A. So down to the first stop here, we'll go in, and 3 microliters is just a tiny, tiny little amount. It might not seem like enough, do not worry, it certainly is. It's a very, very thin layer we're working with here. Now, actually gonna do this on a flat surface. Put the pipette tip on the section that you're working with. You'll see it even out all the way across. It can be difficult to see because the sample is pretty much invisible at this point. However, I do have sample in section A and B. So next, I'm going to go to insert, again with the Mini Tube logo facing up. There is no semen sample or any liquid on the glass surface, either on bottom or on top. Now I'm going to gently insert past position A and over to B. All right, so on first use of the software, what we'll need to do is go to this icon here with 3 dots. Ensure your species is set to canine. Don't change any of these settings, just go to calibrate and execute. This is going to get the focal length and the image plane correct. Now, once that's done, you can see the offset X change from 0 to 1496. You can just click the green arrow, rotate the focusing knob so that they come into perfect image. There we can see we have the best image. Focusing knob in front, you can see adjusts either way, and will adjust in and out. So with each sample, you will have to adjust this to get the best image and the best analysis. Once you have it set, it should be pretty good to go. And the screen you're seeing here is the best representation of what the androscope is producing for us. So the next step once doing that is very simple. We go on the software and we're seeing the sample live now. You go to this icon right here in the middle. Click Analyze. Be careful not to bump the table or the androscope while it's doing the analysis. And you have your ratio. So another important note, I did put the donor name. This is where you're going to put the name of the dog that you're analyzing, as well as any pre-configured dilution ratio. So if the sample is diluted, you're going to want to tell the software here what it is here now right away. And then on the screen, we have 3 different color arrows. So the green is going to indicate progressively motile sperm cells. Those are the good ones. The PSMCs, those are the ones that you want to see an abundance of. In this sample, we certainly do have an abundance of those progressive cells. The yellow or orange ones are the motile. However, they're not always consistently moving forward. They have motion and apparently are healthy, yet are not particularly moving in a straight line. The other ones are the dots, the red ones. These are the ones that are identified as not moving. These can either be dead from defect or floaters, as we could call them. In the bottom right, we have our results here. So concentration in million per milliliter. You'll see the prefix on the side, 10 to the 6 per milliliter. 10 to the 6 does indicate million. This is the standard concentration of million per milliliter of 244.54. So that's a 1/4 billion per milliliter. This is an extremely healthy sample. We have a total motility percentage of 85.52. Now this is where you're going to see if the sample is still cold, or if your extender has been exposed, or if your extender has been warm shipped, once it reaches you, you may see this number significantly dive off. Now, if it's too cold, the solution is simple. Just put it back into the warmer and give it ample time to get up to normal biological temperatures. But if not, if it's from any temperature shock or shipping or error with handling, that number won't change, but that will help you identify what is going on with your sperm sample. Next, below that, we have progressive motility at 83.79%. So most of the motility in this sample is actually progressive, a significant amount of it where we're seeing that 84%. Next, we have a breakdown of the motile cells, which ones are fast, slow, circular, local, which means they're moving but fixed, and immotile. So for fast, we have 32%. Again, fast is good. We like fast swimmers. They get to the egg quickly in a mostly linear fashion and fertilize. Then we have 22% in slow motility, 29% in circle motility, 1.73% in local motility, and 14.5% in immotile. So that is that 100% minus the 14.48% immotile, represented by the red dots, equals that 85.52% remainder of motile cells. For recommendations of what the best numbers are and further definitions of these figures, please reach out to us for resources. All right, now, so the last step that we have here is to save this result. So to do that, you want to stay in the software, stay on the screen, go to this PDF icon here, and now we can save and print off a report. So ID is typically like an accession number or a patient number. Don't necessarily have to enter that. I'm just going to enter 123. We have the name of the sample as stud. We have stud boy. And breed here. Golden. All right, so once we have the demographic information there, we're going to, again, click the PDF button. And a report is going to be prepared. We can then hook up a printer to our device or use a Bluetooth printer. That you will have to set up yourself. However, the report is going to look like this, and we can save it to our PC, email it off, or print. All right, so lastly, we have the report, and this is an absolutely beautiful report that would be best printed using a color printer, because we do have a picture of the cells and a complete and also expanded definitions and results for the sample. So we have everything from VCL, velocity curved line, to VSL, straight line, velocity average path, DCL, DSL, DAP, ALH, BCF, HAC, linearity, and straightness. So that is the Mini Tube Androscope. Simple as that. Give us a like and a follow. We'll hopefully see you back in the next video. And feel free to call us at 844-673-7378.